Yo, 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 it's your friend Dinner Dog, and making the clock cycle in Lycanthrope is a great tool you want in your toolbox. Now, to be fair, there is some discussion about us using some things to remove the clock cycle from being in the game in general, and so it may not be here in the future when you watch this video, but regardless, if you can get there in 5 minutes instead of getting there in 5 minutes and 20 seconds, then you're in a better place anyways, right? So this video is still good. There's a couple of cool tricks we can do, and especially if you have watched the my video 308 on early leapstone decision making. It's a fantastic opportunity to take that, and being able to make the clock cycle is essentially paramount for making this decision a reality. So let's take a look at what we're going to do in this video. So we're going to look at when do we use the wolf from the time after we've skipped death to the time we're going to get to the clock room. We're going to look at Slogger and Gaivon double kill strategy. Yo, it's totally a thing. Let's do it. Yo, it's pretty unique to Lycanthrope given our equipment and stuff. So we'll take a look at that, and then we'll demonstrate both the double kill, and we'll do a run from the beginning of a seed to get to the clock room in under 5 minutes, so you can follow along. So yeah, let's make this happen here. Okay, so this is what we're going to spend the primordial of time on. So I can throw a clock rush strategy. We're going to start here on the bottom, and we're going to get all the way to the clock room over here. And I'm going to take off my camera so you can see the whole thing. Unfortunately, I couldn't fit it all in there, so we're just going to deal without me. Sorry. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. So we can look here. Green is for no wolf. Blue is for definitely wolf. Pink is for maybe. Let's do this. So when we first get to the top of the stairs after doing death, we don't want to use wolf here. Theoretically, it's faster to do it, but when I tested it out, the problem I had was I was inconsistently getting the item from this bloody zombie, and I only saved about like half a second anyways, so you definitely want to get the item. It could be all sorts of things. I don't think it's worth missing it, so grab it. And then, of course, if you mess up anything with the wolf and fall down into this hole, you soft lock the seed, so don't do that. All right, so going into the laboratory where we're going to spend the most of our time. When we first get in, we absolutely want to do a wolf charge forward. So we want a wolf charge, and then typically what's going to happen is we want to do a small jump and untransform, which is going to put us up against those spikes there, but not go through them. And then when we complete the untransform, we're still in the air. We want to attack with the shield rod, which will reveal what's inside the orb. Now, I've only got this to work once, but there is a way that you can time the jump that you actually don't bonk on the wall, and you get to the orb. But I couldn't consistently do it, and if anything, me trying to do it would cause me to bonk on, let me just show you here, on the other ledge that's over here. So I'd mess up the timing. If you've got a great setup for this, please let us know in the comments. This is supposed to be a group exercise anyways. I'm definitely not perfect at this stuff. Hopefully just starting the conversation. So please add your 2 cents down there, and if there's a consistent way to do it, let's make it happen. Otherwise, I wasn't able to do it. It was outside my skill set. But the great thing is if we bonk this thing, or if we hit the orb early and it turns out to be a life max up or a heart refresh or something that we don't want, we can skip going over there entirely and keep going on our merry old way. So it's pretty convenient. The other piece here that's in pink is kind of worth it. Like if you do a wolf charge here, you can do a jump. These spikes don't actually exist. Like with when you have skill Volk and you're vulnerable, you will go through them. So you don't need to worry about getting over them. And then you can jump again to hit the candle and hopefully grab the item. But I found it inconsistent. Sometimes I was missing the item. So you can do it, but if you miss the item, you probably lose time because you have to like go back slightly, hit it, and then go up the stairs. So it's probably not worth it. But it's not too punishing if you miss it anyways, and it doesn't save a bunch of time, so it's more of like a preference thing. But in general, probably not worth it. Anyway, so we're gonna go up through these stairs here, which is fantastic because all of these vertical sections here are opportunities for us to regain our MP. So and especially if we've skipped death and we've got the Mystic Pendant, then we're going to be in a really good place here. In the next room with the first Spittlebone, I found it wasn't worth to use the skill Wolf Charge or Wolf here at all. So just don't. It wasn't faster, especially with these spikes here. You can go through them and then end up and get hit and you get Spittleboned. It's bad times. So unless, again, if someone's got a really cool setup for it, I didn't find it saving time, and I think you should just keep going through this room as you would normally, with the exception that you shouldn't hit the Axe Knight up here because you don't want to get a level up. you want to get 2 level ups on Slogger Gaibon, ideally. And I found that by skipping that Death Knight or that Axe Knight, you can do that. There's probably a better way to do it. Like if you look at the vanilla speedrun, it does the whole experience route, and that's probably better anyways. But anyways, so we're gonna go through all this section here. And by the time we get up to the top, we're gonna have full MP, of course, because we've gone a long time without using Wolf. And what we're gonna do here is very specific, all right? Well, not very specific, but it is pretty cool. So we're gonna do a skill of Wolf charge, which is gonna jet us out to the right. We're not going to jump. If you jump, this won't work, all right? Because you'll lose all your momentum and stuff like that. Don't jump, all right? Just hold right. And the wolf's going to slowly fall down as gravity takes over. And what we're going to do here is you see this big pentagram-like thing. When you're in the middle of the pentagram, that's when you untransform, all right? That's going to continue you a little bit forward. And you're going to drop down in front of Slogger and Gaibon, but if you've done it right, you won't overshoot them to the point where the fight will start early, because you definitely don't want that. That's a bad thing. So if you were to untransform, like here, beyond the eye, it's probably a problem. So just do it over the eye. I didn't find it that hard to do, because you're going quickly, but the eye is so huge, it's pretty easy to time. Here's the first cool thing we're going to do. When we get into Alucard, we're going to be falling straight down, all right? Straight down. And we could use the fact that we have access to a dive kick to get to the ground faster. But what I think is even better and kind of swag is, although it does help your, whatchamacallit, it does help your time as well. It's not just purely swag. Is that while you're falling, if you hold up, you can start charging the Tetra Spirit as you are falling, and you can actually do the entire motion as long as you don't hit attack until you're on the ground. And you will immediately do the Tetra Spirit. So instead of getting to the ground and then holding up for, I can't remember the frame window off the top of my head. I want to say it's 30 seconds or just over 30 seconds, or 30 frames, I should say. Sorry. At any rate, as long as you've held up for the required amount of frames, it doesn't matter you did that in the air or not, as long as when you press attack, you've met the requirements of the spell, which means that you held up for long enough, you did the rest of the inputs, you pressed attack, and when you pressed attack, you were on the ground. That will immediately bring out the Tetra Spirit, which is very cool. If you want to know more about the mechanics of how inputs work in SotN, check out Rando video 311 here. It'll hook you up with all that kind of insight. There is the Slogger and Gaibon Double Kill strategy. It's not dependent on all this stuff that I just talked about here, although it does set you up very well for it. But we're going to talk about that on the next slide. Let's just assume we got it for now. Anyways, going into the next climb here, we don't want to use Wolf. Now, to be fair, you could use Wolf and save about half a second here. You've got to do some timing so that you don't bonk on the door. But I found that after I killed Slogger and Gaibon, if I changed into the Wolf and then did a bark and waited a half a heartbeat, and then did the wolf charge and jump up here, I would get through the door, and I could maybe save a quarter second to a half a second getting up here, but it's not really worth it, in particular because we're going to need to lean on our MP through this next section and through the rest of the marble gallery. So we want to use this time here and the subsequent time going up to recharge our MP. We won't get to full up here, but we'll get pretty close. Using MP here, and more specifically not regaining MP, especially with the Mystic Pendant, isn't worth it and is a bad time, so don't do it. You're just adding additional mechanics to something that's only going to save you a half a second and is going to set you back on MP. So once you kill Slogger and Gaibon, you just want to race to the end as you normally would, especially with the shield, and you want to get to the door before the door opens so you can minimize the time you're in the room with the laggy health max up that will spawn. All right, so we get to here. You definitely want to use Wolf through this. This is absolutely required, but there's a cool thing we can consider here is when do we want to leave Wolf form? And where I think you want to leave Wolf form is this incline here. And you're going to say, well, Dinner Dog, how am I going to remember this incline? There's a bloody zombie right here. So you kill the last bloody zombie, and then as you hit the incline, you untransform. That's going to bring you back into Alucard form somewhere here. You won't be at the edge, which would be ideal, but you also won't fall off. So the reason we want to be in Alucard form here is we want to have air control when we jump down. Because if we have that, then we can move ourselves over to the left and get this orb, and we can attack the room the same way we would in a normal setting. And the timing is essentially the same, that you will get to where the spittlebone comes when the spittlebone is angled down. And again, I think it's video 208 that goes over opening strategies. It talks about the whole strategy itself. Even if you don't get that, because you have the shield rod, it's easy to kill the spittlebone anyways. What we typically, I don't think we want is if we untransform and get Alucard form over here and we want the item, it becomes a bit problematic. So we're going to go straight down first, because we have to. We don't have any air control until we hit the ground again. And we can, so we're going to hit the Axe Knight down here is the problem. You can dive kick to get down faster and hopefully dive kick off the Axe Knight. But even if you do that, like we know the dive kick hitbox isn't the greatest, you still may get hit by the Axe Knight, so it's probably not worth. And then you've got to move back over here anyways to get to the orb and then go back and forth. So you typically want to have air control. The time you don't want to have air control is if you're going to skip this item entirely, which I wouldn't recommend, but if you don't care about this item, just untransform later, allow Alucard to hit the wall here. Probably not bonk, but at least like be untransforming against the wall, dive kick down, and then just continue along your way. That I think that's viable. Especially if you think like, okay, I got Alucard shield, like maybe the beginning skeletons, I have a library card, I have money, like if you have all these things, like you can gain a slight tempo by just avoiding this thing, but otherwise stop yourself over here by untransforming over here. Okay, and then as we go through the rest of this area, we're just recovering MP. And obviously like this section doesn't make sense for Wolf. I did try to make it work, but it just didn't work, unfortunately. And then we get to the marble gallery, so we're kind of on the home stretch here. So we definitely want to wolf charge through all of this, but we want to stop, or we want to untransform kind of around this area here. And that area is the moment you hit the last Axe Knight. The reason we want to do that is because when we untransform, we want Alucard to fly out into this area that's over the yellow. And you'll notice here, especially with the other one, this yellow area is the area where Alucard can fall straight down to the ramp that we need to go to next. So instead of like hitting this and then having to go back down, or heading down over here and then having to move over, you want to end up in this area and then just dive kick down. And you can accomplish that fairly consistently by just immediately, and I do mean immediately, hitting untransform the moment you hit the Axe Knight. You should get into this area here and fall down. So, and then for the rest of it, we don't really want to use Wolf as we go down through here and back. I don't think there's a great way to use Wolf on this here and then save time over here, because you can't charge or else you'll bonk on the wall over here. And then with the time it takes to untransform and deal with the skeletons and the fact that like your muscle memory will want to do the skeletons normally anyways, I don't think it's really worth it. But if you can find a way to do it, you're going to recover the MP anyway, so I think it's fine. But I couldn't figure out a way to do it. Again, shout out in the comments if you've got a good strategy for that. So we go all the way down with Alucard. I think you want to just do it with your shield. And then you get to the bottom. You go here to like grab the relic or peek it, or not peek it, or to, if you couldn't peek it because it might be an item, then you grab it over here, and you make your way back up. And I don't think you want to use the wolf in any of these places either. You can't really wolf jump off of these ledges because where they are, there's a ceiling right above it. You could do it for the last one here, but I think this is slightly problematic. First of all, I couldn't really save a lot of time when I tried. You could do it because the ramp ends beyond the ceiling, so you can jump up, go here, and then do a wolf charge and untransform and go on your way. I maybe saved a bit of a time, but the problem then is that now I've used a bunch of MP for at least 2 wolf charges, and I'm going to go up here and then do it again. And if I don't end up going upwards because I don't have a relic that would make me want to go up there, like you want to go up there with Leapstone and Gravity Boots, or Bat. Otherwise, you probably just want to keep going forward. And it's a long time to get to the end of the marble gallery, so you want to have all the MP you can. So I don't think it's worth it to do it in this section, even if it does save a bit of time, because you want to conserve your MP for the rest of it. If there is a good strategy for it, though, and you know you're going to go up because of the relics you have, then by all means do it, and I think that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so that's it, and then we should be in this room well ahead of the 5-minute mark. Now, one thing you should keep in mind if you're using the auto tracker, or just like tracking in general, is that the game clock doesn't start the same time as when you gain control of Richter. I think it actually starts in the beginning of the cutscene, before you have access to moving Richter. So it's roughly about a 3-second difference. So if you get to the room at like 4:57, the thing is likely to be closed. So you need to keep that in mind, and not get frustrated if you get blocked by that. Also, if you go into the clock room and the statue would be in the phase of closing, and there's like a second for you to get up there, if that phase had already started before you entered the room, the whatchamacallit, the statue will already be hard closed immediately. It won't give you that extra little bit of time. Okay, so we've gone through all that. We're going to do a demonstration of all this, and we should do it together. So break out a game and make it happen. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put the seed name and stuff I used, or a PDF of it, in the description. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But anyways, yeah, it shouldn't matter. Like the equipment and stuff you get, it doesn't matter because we're not going to do it anyway. So yeah, don't even worry about it. So let's go to the Slagra and Gaibon double kill strat. So we're going to start it off as normal with the Tetra Spear. And I guess I can put myself back on the screen here. Yeah, guys, I'm back. Hooray. So we're going to start the fight with Tetra Spear as usual, okay? Same kind of distance you'd normally do it, all that kind of stuff. And if you did the setup from before, you should be in that area anyways. Once we've done the Spirit, we want to quickly hit Slagra, all right? Only Slagra. And then we want to create some space, because the next move is we want to hit Gaibon, but we only want to hit Gaibon. If we're too close, we might also hit Slagra. So we want to just barely hit Gaibon. And it also gives, like, I don't know how important this is, but I tested it a little bit. It didn't seem to matter, but I could just be getting lucky or something like that. And again, I didn't have Spirit Orb when I was doing this, so there might be crits and stuff. But you giving the Tetra Spirits a few seconds extra or a moment extra to do it is fine. Like it's not even a quarter second to just turn around here. So we're gonna turn around, we're gonna jump, we're gonna bonk Gaibon in the head here. We're gonna specifically avoid Slagra, and then your spirits are gonna do the rest of the work. So we're only going to hit them twice, or we're gonna hit each of them once, all right? And this setup seemed to do it well enough that that it just works most of the time. It's not guaranteed. Again, I don't have Spirit Orb, so I don't know if I'm getting crits sometimes, but it seemed to be the case that I would get the double kill very consistently. So yeah, that's the whole thing here. Just hit one, create space, hit the other, and then just watch the spirits do their good work. And then after you get the kill, and we're gonna start moving to the right-hand side of the screen, just do a quick jump and then hit forward so that you can confirm that you've killed Gaibon, because it's not always apparent. Sometimes you'll get the double level up thing, but it's not always obvious when that happens. It kind of depends on how quickly you're moving and stuff like that, I think. I'm not an expert on it, sorry. But either way, you just want to confirm the kill. You do have time to do that before, or to get to the door on the right-hand side without it opening, so you might as well, even if you're pretty convinced you've got it. There's no downside for it. So let's do some demonstrations here. We'll get the tutorial back up here. Now, you may be saying, well, don't your statistics matter, right? Like, is that going to impact the double kill? And, like, the real answer is maybe, but it's not your starting statistics, as long as you didn't get Maria'd, shouldn't be a big deal, because like strength is important, but like you're already hitting hard as it is. Like 20, like the difference between like 12 and 13 is bigger than the difference between 28 and 29 from a percentage perspective. So like I think it will work consistently. I did do it in a couple of seeds and it seemed to work fine. The same with your intelligence, especially because the damage for intelligence that you get off the spell is heavily weighted more on the +2 intelligence, which will be consistent, rather than the stat roll that you got. I'm going to be doing a video shortly on how statistics work, and I'll go through the calculation a bit more in depth. But for our purposes here, let's do let's do the whole set for Slogger and Gaibon. So we want to transform to wolf here on this ledge. We want to do it so that, or we want to do it here, not because we need a long runway to build speed. It's more that if we screw up the movement and go through this wall over here, then the door is going to close, and then being on the other side of the door is going to mess, and doing the charge from there will mess up the setup. So we just want to make sure we do it in this room, so you might as well do it from here. So we're going to do a skill wolf charge. We're going to hold right. We're not going to jump. We're going to transform back to Alucard when we're in the middle of the pentagram, just underneath the eye. And then while we're doing it, or while we're falling down, we're going to hold up and do the motion for the spell so that when we hit the ground, we can immediately get the spell out, which will save some time. So let's just do it here. So I think the mouse is in the way, but 1, 2, did we get it? Whoops. No, we didn't get Slogger. That's weird. That's often doesn't happen. Let's do that again. You're going to hear the music for a moment. Just bear with me for 1 second. There it goes. Off. Okay. Let's try that again. Again, you don't get it all the time. Crits and stuff may matter. Go. 1, 2. We got it that time for sure. We can confirm, go to the end, and we're at the door before it finishes. So that's how that works there. We got a level up over here. Okay, perfect. The which is probably weird because I didn't do the experience route in this preset here, or in this save I made here. Anyways, let's do this again. Kill the music. All right, one more time just to show you how it is. Do it with me, like open the game and make it happen. But transform, skill of wolf, hold right, untransform, hold up, do the spell input, miss it because you're trying to explain at the same time, do the spell, 1, 2, probably didn't work. Oh, it did work. Okay, I thought I hit them both there. And then you're out. The last thing I'll touch on here is that the, in case you are wondering, so if we do this properly, we are going to, I guess I could have just shown it, but we're going to end up right around here when we fall down. The you'll notice these 2 cracks in the floor. We can be beyond the first crack, and we can be slightly beyond the second crack, but I think if I go forward like another pixel or so, the fight will start, and that's too dangerous. The if that happens, you're just going to lose time on this. So don't make that happen. The be a bit safer back here. The if you get over here, it's fine. Just as long as you don't tend to travel that much when you do the spell input. The and you'll know yourself well enough to do that. But anyways, that's kind of like the limit here. Yeah, at that point we start the fight. Okay, so that's good stuff there. I am going to reboot my core, and we're going to do an actual demonstration run on a new seed, which I've already loaded in. This was a save state I used from a previous seed, so it mostly should have been the same stuff. Or at least it wouldn't have affected the fight there. Okay, so we're also, while this is loading up, we're going to have a timer here. Okay, so our goal is to beat the clock cycle. So we need to do that by getting to the clock room before 4 minutes and 57 seconds thereabouts. I'm pretty sure I don't have anything to delete here, but let's just make sure. Awesome. And definitely do this with me. The pause the video, whatever you need, the and replay some stuff. But yeah, let's look to make it happen. And hopefully I don't mess up my Richter movement or anything. That'd be embarrassing. You'll notice that we're doing this in 1 take here because I'm fairly confident we'll make this happen. Well, those are dangerous words, though. All right, here we go. Up here. My crappy opening, I'm sorry. There we go. But even with my crappy opening, we can make this happen. Oh, we got the good Dracula, perfect. But no stacks. We didn't keep the cross because I messed up, but that's actually fine. We don't need the extra MP, although we definitely want it. This is absolutely a blunder, but not enough for us to reset. That's for sure. If you remember from the 200 Cities video about doing the death skip in Lycanthrope, we can do the same ideal strategy, whether or not we got the 5 MP. All ready? Yo, cape reveal? I like it. Okay. Burbs are going to send us in, and let's get here before the 4 minutes, 57 minutes mark. 57 seconds, oh my god. Alright, so this is all standard stuff. We don't need to talk too much here. There's a video on this stuff. Nice. Potion's really cool. 1, 2, 3. Get through. Amazing. Awesome. Alright, so no wolf here. Because we want this sweet item. Buffalo Star? Buffalo Star. Yeah, we want that. Night Shield we definitely want. Let's take a moment to talk about the Night Shield. Actually, maybe we'll talk about it later. Alright, so we're doing this extra thing over here, and we peak the item, which we may not normally do, but we're still likely going to make the clock cycle anyways. We'll talk about Night Shield in a moment. We need to talk about this. Change into Wolf. Do this over here. Slight jump. Oops, I messed up a bit, but we saw the heart, so that's cool. Having the extra range is cool. I'll do this, but it doesn't really save much time. Actually, that lost time. Because I was trying to talk and do it at the same time. But you can make that jump there, I just didn't do it. So even with our screw-ups, we should be able to make it in time. Ready? Awesome. Yeah, so Night Shield is very good in Lycanthrope with the Shield Rod. I'm not going to kill this guy. Because the Night Shield gives you... It's like an attack potion. So if you got to fight an early boss and you need to use the Shield Rod, or just like pre-buff yourself before you use your fists or that Luminous we just picked up, it is very très bien. Alright, let's see if we can get the double kill up here. So jump up here, transform, skill Wolf, untransform, hold up, put the spell on, do it right away. 1, 2, maybe. Yep, we had enough time to confirm. Now the other thing we do, even though we like the Night Shield, there's no reason for us to put it on right now, or really any equipment. No matter what you get, unless it's like library card, you don't need to do it. Last one, untransform, on the ledge, come down here, grab this, Shuriken's cool. Oops, I messed up there, so we'll kill this guy. Oops, messing up again. What do we got here? Oh, the timer didn't start. Hold on. Oh, no. I'll retime this when the videos... You'll see it in the description. Oh, I went too far. Now I'm upset because I didn't do it properly. Let's do this here. Oh, now I'm making all sorts of mistakes. Alright. Well, we're actually going to be able to tell, regardless of my time, and we're even going to go down here without peeking. Oh, we needed this anyways. Because will the door be open? So this is actually fine. And even with all of our mistakes here, will we be okay? Alright, so all that stuff is normal. We're going to charge right away in here. Alright, and here we go. And the door is open. And now I don't really want to go up here. You don't want to do this normally, but I just want to show that we can get up there. What time did we get? Yo, 4:53 here. So getting up there at 4:53 and the game clock being there. So we were there at 4:50 plus all the jumping shenanigans. So we were probably there at around 4:47-ish, I guess. I don't know. But we had essentially a good buffer there in time. And you saw those mistakes I made, right? So it is achievable, even with an ideal play style there, and even like our intro could have been better and stuff like that. So it's very cool times. So give this some practice, play along with me. You'll probably do better than me because of my mistakes. And I didn't relaunch the tracker, which is why the timer didn't go up there. I just left it on, so it's my bad. Actually, I didn't even launch it at all. I started the tracker and then hit the launch tracker button. That's bad on me. Anyways, so you know the drill. Any mistakes or anything will be listed in the comments. And if you can iterate on this, and please do, like add your comments to it as well. I'd love to see someone like finding a way to save like a couple of seconds on this to make it even more consistent. And hopefully you learned some stuff today. That double kill is probably a lot of fun. All right. So that's it for this one. We'll see you in the next one, and take care. Cheers.